Hello and welcome to redditSlash, your source of AskReddit. Today with AskReddit, have you ever met someone and thought, wow, if we had met at a different time, we would have made a great couple? If so, what happened? I liked this boy at school when I was 14. I wasn't allowed to date, strict parents, first girl, but he liked me too. A decade later I run into him at my university of all places and we catch up, and he tells me he always liked me, and I liked him. So we go out. It was fun. It was nostalgic. Lasted like a month before he told me he's like super gay. So, yeah, it didn't go anywhere after that. Turns out we did not in fact actually make a great couple. Still friends though. Was he in denial until he dated you? I think a little. Like he knew, but we are both from religious families, so I think he was really trying to meet their expectations by dating a girl. He never dated anyone before me. I just had the wrong set of friends at the time. They picked on him tirelessly, even though he was damn near perfect. Years later one of those friends ended up with him after I moved away. Wow, what a piece of shit friends. Yeah, I'm not friends with them anymore, and also it was middle school. So almost started a relationship with this one guy in high school back when MySpace was relevant. I asked him out on a date through messages and I misread something. I thought he had rejected me and we didn't speak again until I saw him again in college. I was in a committed relationship and so was he. For the best, though. He lived pretty far away. Love my husband who I met a year later. Wouldn't lose him for the world. She died this week. Sorry bro. Don't hold your emotions. I hope you have a good friend around. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you'll be fine. That guy was named Justin. We got along so well. We had everything in common, and the chemistry was crazy sexy. But we never lived in the same place at the same time and most of the time one of us was in a relationship. And that just was the case, always. So it never worked out. Once we got a bit older I finally said we shouldn't talk anymore because it always gets into flirtation and that's not appropriate if we are gonna be dating other people. He's not a lost love or anything though, just a fond memory I guess. I'm pretty sure he's married. I am, and who I'm with now is much more than just us being a great couple. Your story really hit home. Thanks for sharing it. That made me think about the person I really need to let go of once and for all. We reconnected years later. Been together for a year now. I remember in HS thinking one day this will happen and it did. Have you heard about the phrase koinoyokan? It's exactly what you're describing here. It means something like the premonition of love, meeting someone and having a feeling that somewhere, sometime in the future you're gonna fall in love and get together. Happened to me with my now fiancée. I met a girl who is highly energetic, extroverted, pretty, and very fun. I'd known her for years beforehand but only actually got to know her then. The only reason I didn't ask her out was because she was dating a close friend of mine at the time, which is how I got to know her in the first place. They broke up, I still liked her, and then she started dating my best friend. They're actually super cute and happy together, so I'm happy for them, if not a little jealous. Edit, grammar. It may sound weird, but when I was 13 I had a best friend. As a teenager not knowing what love is, if he had not been super depressed, barely capable of keeping up a friendship, and not killed himself when he was 14, we would have been perfect for each other after puberty. We loved each other so much, we never tried anything, because we knew that we would mess it up for later. I hope he rests peacefully, and he was the first male to ever feel and show real love to me, until I was 21. Edit, I still think of him all the time. And I miss him, but it is so hard to recall all those good memories with him now, because I have become such a different person. It is natural, but sometimes I find myself blaming me for it, and feeling like betraying him, not giving him the love he deserves anymore. Anyone can relate, yes. I understand this feeling. We were about 15, he was killed. It took me years to process the guilt I felt, having feelings for anyone else. The whole experience shaped just about every part of how I look at things. I guess in that way he lives on. We would have become different people and probably drifted apart. I'm sorry this happened to you. Kinda relevant. I fucked buddied my best friend for a few years, from about 14. We always said we wouldn't work as a couple for many reasons. Then about 10 years later he asked me out, and it's been about 6 months and we are very happy together. Well, when I was 5, I wanted to marry my dad, who was 35. He was already married to my mom, so nothing happened. Freud is shaking in his grave. This is my own fault. Due to a lot of factors I was really promiscuous back in the day. I met a lot of great guys and several I probably would have gone out with if I didn't make such a thing about it only being about sex. Honestly, I probably came across as so cold and uncaring. There are several I wonder about now, including a guy I was really good friends with but had sex with without thinking it might have not been the best thing for our friendship at the time. I've grown up a lot since then and am with a wonderful guy who doesn't mind my past. But I still feel ashamed not at having sex, but of not being considerate about other people's feelings. Lol, you sound just like me when I was in my early 20s. I'm married and have 2 kids now, and to be honest, sometimes I miss the promiscuous just sex days, haha. Back then, I was pretty much in love with my fuck buddy, but we were both pretty slutty. I started hanging out with his friend to make him jealous. Ironically, I didn't actually do anything with his friend, but he was convinced that I did, and a whole lot of revenge took place. He would do something awful, and then I would do something awful to get back at him, and in the end, I think we both ended up pretty sad about it all. We are still acquaintances, having several mutual friends, and it's still weird sometimes 10 years later. Like, we are friendly to each other, but still have this weird love/hate thing going on that we don't talk about. I'm happily married now, but I still wonder how things would have been different if we just talked about our insecurities rather than playing the who can hurt each other more game. No one in particular, but this notion has crossed my mind before. That there are so many people I've met that I would consider as my type, but because of time and circumstances it never happened. I'm also someone that once I see you as a friend, it's quite difficult for me to see past that. My best friend and I in high school were so in sync that we probably would have made a great couple. We even both came to this realization, so we sat down one day and talked about it. In the long run we decided the timing wasn't right at that point in time and to just stay friends to keep our friendship intact. Still see her 2 to 3 times a year. She's a wonderful person and even has a boyfriend now. I'm not as far along, unfortunately. I can think of a few. 1. She was already married. We were good friends while our lives intersected, but haven't kept in touch since I moved for work. 2. She was dating/engaged to her now husband while I knew her. We were good friends while our lives intersected, but haven't kept in touch since we went our separate ways. 3. She's dating the person I expect she'll marry. At the very least, she'll still be together with him by the time I move away. We are polite acquaintances, but otherwise try to stay out of each other's way. This was the one that really hurt, because I developed feelings before I found out she was unavailable. With the others I never hoped for anything more than friendship. Not so here. It appears you have a thing for girls who are already taken. I would understand 1 woman, but 3 women who always with other people, where feelings of attraction reciprocated, or was this one way? I won't dispute your conclusion, as it's something I've come to realize myself. I've given a fair bit of thought as to why it happens so frequently, and it's a complicated product of my social anxiety, my limited social circles, a lonely heart, and the personality/character I'm attracted to. The only hedge I'll throw in is that I don't only develop interest in romantically linked women. As for whether the feelings were reciprocated, in the first case I don't think so. At least nothing beyond friendship. As for the other 2, my gut and my brain both think so. I feel confident in saying the flirting went 2 ways. This 3rd one, the reason I didn't find out about her so until too late was because I think she was deliberately evasive. At the time I met her, she was in her LDR, and if I had to guess, she was trying to keep me as an option for her if the LDR failed to find a job in our city. Lucky me, the same month we really started getting to know each other was the same month her LDR got a job. If you want more content, please like and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next episode of r/AskReddit. Have a great day.